When a company's on top of their game, there are two ways that most of them react. The great ones are humble about it and thank their fans for bringing them to that point. The ones destined to fail act like their fans are idiots and use them as human ATMs. No, I'm not talking about Apple. I'm not even talking about Electronic Arts. Today, I'm talking about Sony. Oh, Sony, you give me so much good stuff to just be upset about and to rant about on the internet, and I thank you for that. If you remember a few months ago, I did a talking head where I talked about how they're not letting people play Minecraft and stuff like that cross-platform, and they're still doing it. But it's gotten better since then. Back then, their excuse was that they were protecting their user base from the user bases of others, which kind of implies that they think that people that play on Xbox and Switch are just bad people. I don't really know where they were going with that. But the other thing that it implies is that their user base is so fragile and unable to take care of themselves that they don't want to expose them to the bad people that they assume are playing on Xbox and Nintendo. Like, I don't even know. How did you think that was a good thing for you to say? But now they've got a new reason. PlayStation is the best way to play games. Really? That's what you're going with now? That is the new reason? You had to change it from that protection thing because we figured out a little bit quicker than you thought just how stupid that was. The CEO of Sony is, of course, going to say this. He's the CEO. Just like Reggie Fils-Aimé probably said that the Wii U was the best way to play games, or that Don Matrick probably said that the Xbox One was the best way to play games while he was out there bungling the launch of the Xbox One, or how the CEO of General Motors probably said that GM makes the best cars in the world while trying to get the government to give them a bailout because no one wants to buy crappy cars no matter how many awards you win. But to claim that the reason why you have limited your user base to only playing Minecraft with other PS4 players because it's the best way to play, like, how stupid do you think your user base is? To claim that the best way to play Fortnite is on a console that will give your Fortnite profile leprosy and make it completely incompatible with the Xbox One and the Switch is just the most arrogant, stupid thing that I've ever heard a CEO or some other employee of a big company say about anyone. And I follow Apple News. Could you imagine if one day someone on an Android device logged into their Pokemon Go account on their friend's iOS device because their Android phone battery was dead or whatever, and then the next day logged back into that account on their Android phone and found out they could not log into that account because Apple put some code in the profile that makes it unable to launch on anything other than an iOS device? Sure, a lot of Apple sheep would defend this for some reason, just like I'm sure a lot of Sony ponies are defending this moronic soup of liquid alligator manure. But the vast majority of the people would call them out on their bullcrap, and they may even lose some customers. I mean, not enough customers to really make a difference, but they would lose some. How in the world can the best way to play a game be on a console that gives you arbitrary limitations just for no reason at all? How in the world can the best way to play Rocket League be with a pool of fewer people because you won't open it up to the other consoles? And it gets even worse if you start talking about games that are not cross-network play. Let's talk about Fallout 4, for example. Now, clearly, PC is the best way to play Fallout 4. I mean, like, I like playing games on console, and if I did play Fallout 4, I'd probably play on a console because I just like the convenience of a console, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Fallout 4 on PS4 or on Xbox One is somehow better than on the PC. With the right hardware, it's going to look better on PC, and the PC is going to have mod support out the wazoo that just doesn't exist on the consoles. Oh, by the way, speaking of mods, the Xbox One version of this game allows mods to be played on it. Now, I've heard that Sony has sort of kind of cracked open the door for a couple of mods to be supported over on the PS4 version of the game, but for the most part, if you want mods, you're really playing on PC. But if you want the convenience of a console, but you also want mods, you're playing on the Xbox One. And let's not forget the fact that on the Xbox One X, the game even looks better than it does on the PS4. If we step back from games that are only on the PS4 and the Xbox One, we introduce the Switch into the market. And the Switch is, in my opinion, the best way to play any game, because I can be playing it on the TV from the comfort of my couch, and the Joy-Con are split, and it's just great. But then if I'm like, hey, I need to go somewhere, I can go put the Joy-Con in the Switch, pick the Switch up, and without having missed a beat, I'm still playing the exact same game that I was playing over there. I can't do that on the PS4. I can't do that on the Xbox One. In literally every measurable way, the PS4 is the inferior console amongst this. It doesn't look as good as it does on PC. And I'm going to be real with you. I don't think the CEO of Sony, Yoshida-san, actually believes that it is, so we're just gonna take that out and assume that he is aware that PC is the best way to play most games. If you just take the Xbox and the Switch, the Xbox One X looks better. Xbox Live, more stable than PSN, always has been. The Switch is portable, and I know a lot of people don't like the Joy-Con. They think it feels weird and chintzy, but most people agree that the Pro Controller on the Switch is one of the best gamepads that they've ever used, and I'm not counting the $150 Xbox Elite controller, but of the regular $50 to $60 controller range, the Switch Pro Controller is the best one out there, a lot of people say. But I personally, I like having the Joy-Con split, and I can just kind of lay my hands by my side like I'm a supermodel in a model shoot, and I'm in one of those incredibly uncomfortable positions, and I'm playing the game. That's how I like to play the game. But even if you're not that kind of person, you can plop the controllers down in there, and you can leave your house with it. There is only one way that I can think of that Sony could come out on top as the best place to play games, and that's if you're the kind of person that just likes Sony's exclusives. You cannot play God of War on anything but PS4, therefore PS4 is the best way to experience God of War. You cannot play Horizon Zero Dawn or Gran Turismo or this is the new Spider-Man game. You can't play those games on anything other than PlayStation, so yes, that is the best way to experience those games. In games that are cross-platform, in games that are cross-network, there is no way, unless you're just really into the DualShock controller. But guess what? There are ways that you can play a DualShock controller on the Xbox One and ways that you can play a DualShock controller on the Switch. So even that kind of goes out the window. There is no way outside of just I prefer games that are exclusive to PlayStation that Sony is measurably the best way to play console games. Sony, stop treating your fans like idiots. Stop abusing them. I get it. If you don't want to do this, then don't do it. No one's saying that you have to. But get your head out of your butt and stop acting like this is somehow benefiting anybody other than you.